What up, Wheatfield? This is your girl Lottie from Tears and Wheat to Rose Show, where you show enough never know what you gonna get. We are still exercising some faith, so right now we gonna take a sip. Mm. Guys, welcome to the Wheatfield. How y'all doing? How y'all doing, y'all's wheat? How y'all doing, my wheat? What's up? If you knew, if you knew, welcome to you too. This is your girl Lottie. We claim it, your favorite channel messenger here at Tears and Wheat to Rose Show, where you show enough never know what you gonna get. I can't, I can't call it today, y'all. I really can't. Today, I'm working on this text right here. It's called How to Lose Your with Your Kids, okay? Because I have a 14-year-old. I do. And she's my love baby. She is my firstborn niece. And due to, complications that we all experience in family, folks deal with addictions and things like that, I adopted my niece. I love her to death. I love her to death. Yes, yes, yes. And we've worked very hard to give her opportunity, but there's certain things that we just can't control. One of them being a disorder called oppositional defiance disorder. And despite medication, counseling, and all that stuff, it doesn't change her will to do what she will and will not do. So, we experience complications that are quite jarring. It's definitely not what some parents have experienced in terms of, a kiddo destroying all of your property, things like that. But we definitely have concerns. Oh, yes, we have concerns, and we have to work through them. And right now is one of those periods. It's one of those times where, as a parent, I got another one out here about your defiant teen or something like that. So we read, we got nonviolent communication, we got these, we got, you know, and we have to just practice like on every incident. And I'm not, perfect. I'm not a perfect person. And sometimes my anger and frustration does get the best of me, and I actually do lose my shit with a kid, you know what I mean? And get to yelling and fussing and all of that stuff. And it takes you out of your square. It interrupts your peace. And when I say peace is interrupted, I mean peace is interrupted. Like, so what do you do when you are faced with that? And in today's society, it's tough, especially for parents uh, in this situation, because as an adoptive parent, you don't have a whole lot of resources once you have adopted that child. Like, I mean, they give you a Medicaid card or something like that and call it a day. But what happens when mental health facilities don't take Medicaid? And many of them don't no longer take private health insurance. What do you do when there are no resources for a child that's being violent against a parent or refuses to accept any level of discipline? What do you do as a parent? Um, I called the police yesterday. I have in the non-criminal hotline, you know what I mean, trying to get some advice. What do I do? If you're finding certain things in your kids' rooms, like cell phones that don't belong to them, so she obviously had to steal it from somebody, lighters and paraphernalia, stuff like that, Uh, and then they can go to school and make up whatever version that they want to and get all kinds of people involved. So what do you do as a parent? How do you protect yourself? I don't know. So this is something that I've been sitting in the spirit with for a long time, because it's very catch-22. We have all kinds of laws and protections for children. We have laws and protection for the elderly. We have laws and protection for intimate domestic violence. But there are no laws to protect parents from children who become unruly and violent or incorrigible, where they will not be disciplined. They refuse. So we deal with if you don't want to be in my household and you don't want to abide by my rules, then what should you do? Because What are the alternatives? As a parent, you're supposed to accept the behavior and just go with it. Get to the point of where, I don't care what you do. Like, in order to keep your own peace and sanity, you just kind of check out and disconnect? Or do you try and stay engaged and give them tools that they need? Now, this honey has every tool that she can have out of the tube. And when I say like every lesson, every coping mechanism, every skill, every book, like you, what do you do when they refuse? So we are looking at how not to lose your shit with your kid. Because honestly, the only thing that I can do is try to keep my peace. She's 14 going on 15. She is 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. And as a parent, you feel the need to protect yourself from your child. What do you do? Who do you call? Who do you go to? So we had a conversation with the principal at school today, and we're looking at some other intervention methods, some other groups and programs that we could see if we can explore. But what do you do as a parent when your child refuses? Where's the support for you? Let's get into this text. Thank you, Father, so much for being here with me. Thank you for guiding me through this message. Allow us to use this situation as a teaching time for support and edification unto self, so that I may serve that edification up to you, edification unto your wheat for any other parent or person that may be going through these similar situations, so that they may edify you. Let us come together as a support so that we may edify and magnify each other, so that we can serve that up to you for the benefit of your wheat field, for the benefit of the children that need support, for the parents that need support, for the whole, for your wheat field. And all these things I ask that you bring me in alignment with the work that you have set before me to do. And I ask for you to protect me in your white light from any entity or energy that was distort, disillusion, confuse, or conflict this message. All these things I pray according to your authority, and I ask for you to grant me your approval and seal me with your ashe. If I am in alignment, please seal me or give me further words to pray. Let's get it, my wheat. Let's get it. Father says exhaustion. Because I feel exhausted, y'all. I do. I feel exhausted. Me and the family, we're exhausted. My oldest doesn't know how to intervene and interact and support. I'm not sure what to do and how to support. Her dad isn't sure what to do and to support. And we're all tired, very tired. So it talks about not only being exhausted and with the behavior and how that compounds your ability to effectively respond, but it also talks about exhaustion overall. So if you're a parent such as myself, single at this point, caring for an older child who's mid-20s, I have a older parent, a parent who's getting older that I also help care for, and then I have my 14-year-old, and then self, and trying to grow and work and all of these things, and you can be tired. I mean, you pushing and pushing and pushing and going and going and going. And it says, intellectually, I knew how bad sleep deprivation is for every aspect of functioning. And I spent early years, do you want that? No. It says, I was doing it all, and I had my trusty coffee and dark circles under my eyes to prove it. Coffee? Huh? Cycles. Look at the circles under my eyes. I haven't slept in weeks. That is my proof from The Wizard of Oz. I love the Cowardly Lion. He is hilarious to me. Look at the circles under my eyes. I haven't slept in weeks. I do. I feel exhausted. I feel tired. It's definitely hard to sleep when you don't know what your teenager is doing, roaming around in the middle of the night, uh, stealing things, could do whatever. I mean, I have woken up with this kiddo in my room in the middle of the night. What are you doing in my room? So, what do you do when you get to that point? Yeah, I'm exhausted. You know, except I wasn't doing it all. Am I doing it all? Yeah, 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 yeah. Except I am doing it all. I struggled through each day with the help of caffeine and sugar, pretty much. And I eventually fell into a cycle of eating my way through the day and worrying my way through the night. Now, I don't eat my way through the day, but I damn sure smoked my way through the day. Like, I was smoking hella cigarettes and all kind, just cigars, trying to calm and relax myself because it's like in a cocktail, two, three of them, and like now I've changed those habits, you know what I mean, and getting reducing, tobacco input. Like I got some melanin tea that I can smoke that, father says, because I done, I still got my coffee now. Anywho, eventually fell into a cycle of, well, we read that, and worrying my way through the night. Over the course of 5 years, I gained a significant amount of weight. I done lost a lot of weight because, I was diagnosed with sleep apnea, an increasingly common disorder in which people stop breathing for brief periods of time during the night. The sleep disruptions happened so quickly and subtly that I wasn't even aware of them, but they interrupted my sleep enough that I woke up exhausted after what I thought was a decent night of rest. How many of us go to sleep at night and can't rest? Like you just lay your body down and sleep, but you don't rest. And me being a channel messenger, I often go live other timelines. Like, and all of my other timelines are not peaceful. Like, I go to places where I can see wars happening. I can see military planes coming down out of the sky. I can see destruction in the plane, like volcanoes and eruptions. I can see uh, buildings and facilities where people are being held and held hostage in cages, and we're working to try and free people from these situations. Like, so my sleep is never restful, you know. So, am I, how I can see how my triggers becoming apparent: anxiety, medical crises, and exhaustion colluded to totally overwhelm me. How many parents out there have felt completely overwhelmed? Like, you're working not only at the 9 to 5, you're working in the household, you're being a parent, and trying to give the support in the best way that you know how. But the support you give may not always be what they need. And then if you're not resting, if you're not eating well, if you're not supported, all of these things collude and combine and overwhelm. They compound you. And it beats you, it makes you feel beaten down and downtrodden. It does. But I was too tired and too overwhelmed to get any perspective on my situation. Instead, I decided it was a matter of willpower and determination. Woo. Now that's one right there. We got to underline that. I decided it was a matter of willpower and determination. How many of us have tried to affect our children's will through our own willpower and determination? That's what we started with. Because this little honey, she's my beloved. I love her to death. Do. I mean, like, my first niece, like, made me an auntie. That's my baby. And she's my baby. Like, I adopted her, and my children are adults. And she is my baby, like, my last one that I'm raising. So my first niece and my baby. Double sugar, double love, right? So it makes it very difficult, especially when you start hearing stuff like, I didn't ask you to adopt me anyway. How do you emotionally handle that? I struggle with it. It made me very angry. Very angry. So, instead of it being a battle of will, because I can't affect her will. I can't make her not hang out with this group of friends and she's doing whatever she's doing. I can't make her not steal devices. I can't make her, because I can't be with her all the time. I can't make her exercise any of the coping skills or mechanisms or tools and resources that she has in place to be successful. I can only provide them and hope that she does the right thing. So I became obsessed with self-help books and parenting advice in hopes of preventing or fixing anything that might go wrong. I didn't let my guard down, which is slightly less crazy way of saying I became a walking, talking, bright red button just waiting to be pushed. But unfortunately for my sanity, I was spending the majority of my waking hours with two little button pushers. Well, I spend most of my waking hours with one big button pusher. And I work at moving my button all the time. You know what I mean? Like, this thing bothers me, so I try not to get upset about it or just, again, let it go. How do you become nonchalant and not react to certain things? But it's other things that are serious. Again, when we're talking about paraphernalia, when we're talking about theft of, like, cell phones and things like that. I mean, I have lock boxes around here because my devices aren't safe. They all are coded with a fingerprint or they are locked in a key coded box because we have no way to protect them. At least I don't. So what do we do when the wheel is just not there? What do you want? The moon? Okay. Just don't know. I've called, for myself, I have called CPS. I have called DSS. I've called the police. There's no help. There's no resources for parents in this type of situation. It just really isn't. Not that I found. And then you can look in some of those behavioral institutes, but they cost like $30-something thousand a semester. Who can afford that? Who can afford to get their kid help? And then you see these stories of children who actually harm their parents. They do. They act like this stuff is not a real thing when it really is. It really is. I talked to the principal this morning because, again, she can go to school and make any type of claim. You have a history of self-harming and you scratch yourself and go to school and say that I did it. What is there to protect the parent? What do you do? Father, is there a message here? Behind the moon, please bring the message. This, either one of these, this one? Nope. Just don't know what to do, y'all. So like we said, we became a stickler for self-help books. First one was, my daughter ordered it. Well, that's not the first one, but one of the more recent ones over the last year or so is Nonviolent Communication, because I have a tendency to yell. And sometimes I say some messed up stuff. I can. It's true. It's one of the things that I'm working on. What is the worst thing that either one of y'all have said when you were, yeah. Father says surrender to the divine. Father puts that it's in a challenge. And we also have a time to give rather than to take. And Father turned it upside down. Is it a time to take? Yes. Time for who to take? You, me. To take what? Take lesson of holding peace. Take the lesson of holding peace. I'm challenged with surrendering to my peacefulness to the divine. In all situations, Father says, the end of a tough cycle approaches. And that one right there isn't a challenge. Father say 4 years. Yeah, because she's 14. She's going on 15, and we got a lot of time left. It says you and your loved ones are safe. So, yeah, that's a challenge. Father put that in there. Don't let your pride get in the way. That's one. You don't want this. No, just the energy. Do you want anything else in this deck? Nope, leave it up. Okay. Where are we going here now? Soul journey. Soul journey. So, pridefulness. And I do have a sense of not just pride, but the the use of willpower and determination, you know. And how do you affect another person's will? Is not something that you can affect. They have to be willing to make the change or they're not. And the lesson for me is to be able to hold my peace and to surrender to the divine no matter what it is. We have imagination fly out. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. Father put that in a challenge on top of surrender to the divine. Loneliness is here. Do you want this energy upside down? Yes, where? On top of the end of a tough cycle. So this is telling me that I am not alone. Am I alone? No. Who's with me? My spirit. My spirit. My spirit is with me. So surrendering to the divine. The divine. And there are times, you want this? Anything? Anything left in this deck? No. Any energy? No. No. Okay. There are times when I do, like I go and pray first, you know. And it's like, okay, come on, spirit, guide me, you know, what it is I'm supposed to do, you know. And oftentimes we walk away. We say what we're going to say and we walk away. We've gotten better at saying what we need to say and walk away. And sometimes she'll come back and, you know, realize, and sometimes not. And but this recent incident was, I was volcanic. It's like I yelled and I screamed, and you know, now it just feels like I'm a warden in a prison ward. Like, you know, go run through your room and look and see what you got in there, and dump the stuff out so I can search it and see what you got going on. Like, how do you keep a person in a cell at night? Do you want this? No. Where are we going now? This one. It's just not. None of it is good. You know, it's just not. It's not good for her. It's not good for me. Do you want either one of these? No. It's not good for her. It's not good for me. It's not good for my eldest. It's not good for any of us. Mirroring each other. Yeah, reflection. So is this, yeah, a challenge over here? A challenge on top of imagination and surrender to the divine. Mirroring each other. Self-image. Relationships reflect our wounds. Introspection. And I can see that. You know, I can see that she's hurt and that she is angry, you know, and that she lashes out. And I can see that when I'm hurt and I'm angry and I lash out, you know, and it's a cycle. And we repeat the cycle. It's like rinse, wash, and repeat. And I really haven't found anything that breaks this cycle except for me just taking my hands off, you know. So it's almost like when I do take my hands off, you know, this one, or is it this? No, this. I like you. Someone likes you. Romance is blooming. Want to date. What is this? Oh, reverse. She's not liking me and I'm not liking her. And I told her, I love you. I love you. You know I love you. But it's true that you guys can love each other and not like each other right now. And I know she don't like me. And I don't like what she's doing. I don't. I don't like what she's doing. I don't like her behavior. I don't like the personality that she's taking on. I don't like any of it. Doesn't change the fact that I love her. and that she knows that I love her. I tell her all the time. But she's 14 and she's into a whole bunch of mess. But we've been dealing with this for years. I mean, since 9, 10, we've been dealing with this. So it's not anything new. We have healing heart. Healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationships or addictions. And that's a challenge upside down. It's very odd. I haven't seen Father do this position before. You know, maybe there's going to be some change to the healing process. Golden mirror. We have self-absorbed, narcissist, one-sided relationships. That's a challenge. Love bombing. And we do feel that too. You know, she's very good at, you know how kids are. Not, well, this one in particular, she definitely can put on the mask and show that she's improving or doing what she needs to do in order to get the reward. Because we have used a diverse, what am I trying to say? Diverse skills and, yep, tools to correct behavior. Yeah, she is just unwilling. She's unwilling. And so we can say, you know, if you don't straighten your grades up, then you can't have XYZ. Then she'll do it to get that. And then it's right back to shit. Or she can sit, you know, in front of you and appear to be doing what she's doing, all while she's, you know, stealing and doing whatever, you know, behind the scenes. And that's just exactly what we just experienced. You know. So I do feel like that one-sidedness and almost like a sense of love bombing. I do. I try not to frame it in terms of narcissism because she does do a lot of gaslighting because she's a teen. But this is different, you know, in my opinion. I've raised 2 other teenagers and I've seen behaviors just on those 2 spectrums, and this is quite different. Her ability to manipulate and it's kind of the thing, like to get close to you in order to kind of, I don't know. It's just weird. It's odd. But anywho, is there anything else in here? No. But I do feel like that challenge with that type of, and we ended on the Phoenix. So something being reborn or rising up from the ashes, which is a good thing. Father did put it on the table as a challenge, you know, a new phase, rekindling or renewing, a transformation, growth, a changing of the mind. And I know that this challenge could definitely be for me because, you know, to figure out how to get into a new phase, to figure out how to rekindle or correct this relationship, to figure out how to transform it, what it is that, how do I continuously sustain the growth as a parent so that I don't lose my ish. I talked to her dad last night, and the one thing that he suggested, which Spirit brought me to today, in terms of exhaustion, is the fact that I need some self-care time. I do. Father brought me to the self-care deck, and we have Finding Peace still on the top from yesterday's reading, which I think is, which is pretty good. Father just pulled this one. From caring comes courage to be loving, kind, and compassionate. To close my eyes and take a deep breath. And slowly exhale. Repeat to myself, may I be kind, may I be happy, may I be safe. Repeat for others, may they be kind, may they be happy, and may they be safe. And finally, may everyone be kind. May everyone be happy. May everyone be safe. So I believe we got breathing space right here behind that. Mindful breathing practice. So I believe one of the things is that I need to rest. I need to have a vacation. I need to do some self-care time. I need to potentially unplug, to meditate and to have a mantra that reminds myself of peace, right? Even in a state of being angered, how do you transmute that? How does this little one teach me? I know that she definitely has made me a better person, a better parent, I believe a better mother, more understanding, more open to things. I mean, again, I am a self-help book guru. Okay, and I wouldn't have known these things or these tactics had I not gone through this experience with her. It definitely deepens my level of compassion, but it also shows me how deep, my anger can be as well, just even for a child. And because that's difficult to look at a little person that you have to treat in a certain type of way or accept a certain type of treatment without responding in a certain type of way. And to notice that there are not any resources for parents like us in this day. It's not. I mean, the only advice that I can get is continue to go to counseling. And counseling teaches the same coping mechanisms, and they can restate it to her in various different ways. But it does not change her will or her willingness to put those skills into practice. So I can go to support groups, but the support I need is somebody to, I feel like Bernie Mac. Somebody come get these and woo shit, come babysit them. Shit. Lord have mercy. Source help me. That's all I can say. I'm serious. That's how I feel. Like if we could take a page out of Mr. Mac's book, ooh shit, come. But until then, we just gonna have to learn and grow. Surrender to the divine and see what other kind of creative solutions there are for us to help us manage. Because I got it 4 more years. Leave me a comment. You got a suggestion? You got a group? You got a place for us to go? Something else besides me paying out of pocket for counseling? Or $30,000 for a semester? Or having to lock myself in my own bedroom, which I can't. Somebody help your girl out on the Tears of We Tarot show, where you sure enough never know what you're going to get, because this is where testimony meets tarot. Because I know I ain't the only parent on this road. I know I'm not. I know I'm not. I know I'm not. And I know that y'all struggling too. So this is a book that you might want to pick up if this is you too. Okay? Get that in there real good. And we'll work through this together. Until the next now, I love y'all. Love you just like I love me. Because I love the source that keeps and protects and counsels and comforts thee. To the next now, we'll call this Ashe.